Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on something pretty fascinating, maybe a little mysterious too, the world of underground betting exchanges. Now, you've probably heard of the regular betting exchanges, right, where you bet against other players, not the house. But what happens when you take away all the rules, the oversight? That's where we're going today, into the, let's say, wilder side of peer-to-peer betting. So, our mission here is to sift through the info we've gathered, pull out the key stuff so you can get a really solid understanding of this digital frontier. We'll look at what they are, how they actually work, why people use them, even with the, frankly, huge risks. And importantly, what you really need to know if you ever, think about getting close to one. It's going to be interesting. Some surprising bits in here. Okay, let's dig in. So first things first, when we say underground betting exchange, what are we actually defining? What makes them different from, say, Betfair or SmartGets?
Right. The core difference, they operate completely outside any formal oversight. Think of it like totally off the grid. No government licenses, no tax reporting, forget about responsible gambling checks. It's almost like a back alley stock market. But for bets. And they pop up in all sorts of places. Private forums,
Yeah.
encrypted apps like Telegram, sometimes the dark web. But what's really interesting, sometimes they're hiding in plain sight, cleverly disguised, or maybe using legal gray areas.
Okay, so underground doesn't automatically mean illegal everywhere, but it always means unregulated. That's a really key distinction, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That word unregulated, that's everything. Because without that formal oversight, you lose all the usual consumer protections. We're not just talking about losing your bet money. Your sources mention cases where people lost, well, everything, their whole bankroll gone, poof, and there's no one to complain to. It's like losing your wallet in a place with no police. That's the real danger.
Wow. Yeah, that really puts the risk into perspective.
Yeah.
So if there's no official platform, no one in charge, how do these things even function? How do you place a bet and actually get paid if you win? If there's no regulator making sure things are fair?
Well, the basic idea is still peer-to-peer. One person offers odds, like the team X scores next, someone else takes the bet or counters. But, and this is crucial, without a platform guaranteeing things, trust. Trust basically becomes the currency.
Trust is the currency. How do they build that?
It's fascinating, actually. Some use tech like smart contracts on a blockchain. These are like self-executing agreements. The code enforces the rules, releases the funds automatically when the bet's condition is met. No need for a middleman you have to trust. Others use things like escrow bots, often in private Discord or Telegram groups. These bots hold the stakes like a neutral third party until the bet is settled.
That's wild. Using bots and blockchain for back alley betting, it really paints a picture of something that's, well, both thrilling and incredibly risky at the same time. The stakes just feel higher all around.
They are, definitely. On the thrilling side, total freedom. You can find bets on almost anything, really exotic stuff you'd never see on a normal site. Often, no limits on how much you bet. And payouts, especially if they're using crypto, can be like instant. It really is the Wild West of wagering. But yeah, that freedom comes at a steep price. There's usually zero customer support, no fraud protection. If someone decides not to pay you, you're kind of stuck. Disputes, they often get handled by like community reputation scores or maybe peer moderation. It's a bit like primitive justice. Your reputation in that little community is everything. No appeals court.
Okay, so with all that risk, no safety nets. Why are people drawn to these places? What's the pull?
There are a few big reasons, it seems. Anonymity is huge for some people. They don't want their betting linked to their bank accounts or maybe tax agencies. Then there's the odds. Sometimes you can find genuinely better odds or bet on really niche things like a super specific event in a tiny esports league, something no mainstream bookie would touch. And honestly, for some, it's just the thrill of being outside the system, a bit of rebellion.
That makes sense. A kind of potent mix of reasons. And look, for anyone listening whose curiosity is maybe a little piqued, understanding why people go there helps understand the whole picture. Which brings us to something useful your sources laid out. A kind of essential checklist, not to encourage anyone, obviously, but just to be informed if you ever, encounter this world.
Exactly. Okay, first point. Check the platform's history. Like, really check it. Ask around in communities that might know. If a site or group is super new or really secretive or has whispers of problems, big red flag. Just walk away.
Right. Don't be the first one testing the waters.
Definitely not. Second, use crypto wallets, not direct bank transfers or anything like that. Wallets give you a bit of a transaction history, even in a decentralized way. Avoid sending money directly to some random person or address you don't know.
Okay, use wallets. Got it.
Third, start small, like really small. Bet amounts you are genuinely, totally okay with losing forever. Think of those first few bets as like tuition fees. Seriously, even if you win them, you're learning the system, the community.
Tuition fees, I like that. Learn the ropes first.
Fourth, get familiar with the lingo, fast. These places often have their own shorthand, their own codes, partly for fun, partly for security. You'll hear terms like backlays, betting for or against an outcome, or matched odds. Understanding that stuff is key so you don't get confused. Or worse, ripped off.
Learn the language. Makes sense.
And finally, trust reputation scores, but be critical. Don't just go on a vibe. Underground doesn't always mean completely chaotic. The smarter ones are often community policed, in a way. Look for evidence of feedback systems, maybe verified escrow services being used. These could be signs of a slightly more reliable setup, though still risky, of course.
So reputation matters, but verify.
Precisely. So yeah, wrapping up,
hmm
these underground exchanges, clearly not for everyone, far from it, but understanding them gives you this really interesting glimpse into a hidden part of gambling culture. It's a strange mix of high risk, sometimes genuine innovation, and that rebellious streak we talked about.
So what's the takeaway for you listening? It's that knowledge is key, especially when you're looking at these unregulated spaces. The core message seems to be if you ever do find yourself exploring this world, you absolutely need your sharpest instincts and probably your smallest bankroll. It really does make you pause and think, doesn't it, about how those basic human drives for freedom, for community, even for taking a risk, how they carve out spaces even in the most unregulated, sort of wild digital corners. Anyway, thanks for joining us on this deep dive today.